good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day it is that you're listening to this. My name is Wanzuu. I'm your host for the Walking with Wanzuu podcast. Now, over time, I have always wanted a nice, safe space that is judgment free to be able to share of my life experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'd love to take you along with me on this journey. And so life is too hard to go through it alone, I think. So we just do life together. Amma, happy listening. Hello guys, how are you? How are you doing? Welcome back to the podcast. Mkwaje, Mkofiti. My good name is Wanzuu. I'm your host for the Walking with Wanzuu podcast. If you're new here, welcome. This is a space where I like to talk about all things life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the very laughable ones, the ones we're still trying to fight and get through. But it's generally a very judgment-free space where we just talk and share from a very raw and authentic place. How has May treated you? My May has been fantastic. I've been good, honestly, because I've been keeping up with a lot. I'm experiencing a bit of fatigue, but I'm looking forward to press reset and just start the week off on a very good and restful note. Can we also just pause and talk about how today I just feel like my spirit is so edified? How I know that I'm in a restful space is I met someone today and I remember their name and I even remember their child's name because they told me their name and they told me their daughter's name. And that's huge for me because I'm those people who I meet you now and I know it's not a flex, Aki. I'm just being honest. I meet you now, you tell me your name, 3 seconds, I've forgotten. Now I have to start saying she said or he said, I'm a that lady or that guy until I interact with you a number of times and I'm like, now I remember their name. So yeah, there's that. I went to church today after a very long time. The last time I think I was in physical church was in February, right after my birthday. My daughter has really been insisting on going to church and I just thought, let me just gather myself and take her to church today. And as I was in church, I had a season of I had a moment of just reflecting, taking in the word. It was incredibly edifying to my spirit. First of all, the preacher had he had so much wit and dark humor. The way he just delivered everything he was saying was so good. So at the same, it was funny, but at the same time, it really touched my spirit. I don't even know how else to describe it. But how are you guys? How are you doing? Has May been good to you? May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And for people or for a space that is really hugely, largely focusing on wellness, I feel like I haven't beat the drum hard enough. But the truth is, sometimes life gets busy, but sometimes I'm also busy just trying to process my own things and kind of work through things. I've had a number of breakthroughs this month, but one was very recent. So my daughter is a very talkative person. She's very talkative. She's very out there. She loves people. And she recently has this habit that I even talked to someone about it. They told me their child does the same thing. Where any new thing she acquires, whether it's a toy or something that she can use for something, she'll want to carry it to school to go and show the other kids. Now, I don't think it's a bad thing, especially when you have that thing in school where it's like bring your toy to school day or whatever. But I kind of I'm not very impressed by it when it comes from a point of bragging. And I noticed that a toy that she recently acquired, first of all, there was this flashlight that she was gotten for, that's a key holder flashlight. And she took it to school without my knowledge and she lost it. And then the other day, she had this cute toy rabbit that she got from her grandpa as a gift. And I remember just showering and thinking, I haven't seen that toy rabbit today. And I asked her and she said she had carried it to school. And I was so upset. It was Saturday morning. And I just remember it's a good thing that I processed, like she told me while I was showering, because the shower is literally my favorite place. Showers calm me down. They make me so reflective. They put me in such a good space. If I could spend a huge chunk of my life showering, I would be a very zen person, but here we are. So I just remember thinking and reflecting and asking myself, so what is causing this behavior? Maybe I want to get to the root cause of this behavior. Maybe I also want to put myself in her shoes and kind of figure out what's going on. And a thought that really crossed my mind was I remember she was telling me recently they had school elections and she really wanted to get a seat. I've also seen her mention a couple of times, or also just be seen her be very impressed and very drawn to people who generally have a lot of friends, attract likability from a lot of people. So she's in that bubble where she wants to kind of have a million friends and be liked by everyone. And so she's really putting herself out there in terms of, can I give you something so you can like me and stuff like that. And I thought of that and I asked her. So I asked her, so why do you feel the need to carry your things to school? And of course, she gave me the, oh, I just wanted to show my friends answer. And then I just asked her, honestly, do you feel like you need to show your friends cool things so they can like you? And, true to my suspicion, she answered and said yes. And then I just told her, okay, I hear where you're coming from, but let's make a list of the people who like you without you giving them anything. So we started making a list in school, made a list of the students, the teachers, and then we continued to make, it was a verbal list, it was just a conversation that was ongoing. We proceeded to make a list of the people that love her at home. And I told her, mention anybody who you think likes you, but you've never given them anything, who genuinely loves you. She talked about her aunts, she talked about her grandma, her grandpa, my friends, some of my friends and their kids and all of that. And I told her, so if you have an army of all these people who love you, yet you do nothing, you do nothing to sustain that love, why do you feel the need to want to recruit others and go out of your way by showing them that you're cool or showing them what you have or giving them things just so they can like you? And I told her, Mommy, life is just in a way that your people will always find you. And God has blessed you with this one friend in school who likes you, whether you do something for them or not. And that's who you need in your corner. But also, there are teachers who really love you. Like, I know her kindergarten teacher loves her to bits. Like, she's always in that class, whether she's going for break or whatever. And, I really tried to make her aware of the fact that there are people who will just love you, and God will always put certain people in your corner to be with you and to love you and to support you regardless. And then I also mentioned to her that what's the main agenda that happens in school. And she told me, um she told me the main agenda for me is to go to school to learn. And I said, yes. So that's what you should focus on. And then the times when you can have that one friend who you can play with, who you can talk to, who you can chat about a number of things about, that's good. But your main focus in this moment should be going to school to learn. And I was so happy that in that season, in that particular moment, I didn't feel like I needed to like raise my voice, or even, spank a little, give a little whooping, because she was being incredibly naughty. And when she carried the other item to school, it was literally in a span of almost 2 days that she had lost it. And I also just showed her, just because there's some children in her school who've been affected by the floods and they're going through a very hard time. And I told her, now is not the time. I mean, it's good that you're blessed and you're soaking in your blessings, but maybe now is not the time to assert that in people's faces. Be kind, be empathetic. And the funny thing is, all these were coming in form of questions like, what should you do? I should be kind. I should be this. I need to do this. So she does know right, but sometimes she gets carried away and does the wrong thing. But that was such a huge breakthrough for me, because I know there are times when she has done something wrong and I handle it with so much aggression, and it's just like, was that necessary? Could you at least have taken a step back, dial and process, and then address it in a different way? And I really hope, I felt in that conversation that I got through to her. I affirmed her, I affirmed my love for her. But it was such a huge moment for me to be able to parent from a point of trying to understand where she's coming from, having a conversation, and getting a breakthrough. That was so big for me. That was so big for me. And so I was also just thinking about life in general, right? I know I was thinking about my friends. I've been thinking about my romantic relationships. I've been thinking about family. And I've noticed that I'm starting to build boundaries around myself over time. But one thing I also don't want to do, even as I build boundaries and try to protect myself, is lose the essence of who I truly am. Because I am a very witty, happy go lucky, loving, incredibly loyal person. And that's what I ooze in every interaction I get into, whether it be a friendship, in work, at work, in my family. That's the kind of energy that I give out. But there are times when I felt like I've had to tweak my energy just so I can make other people comfortable. Like I know about times when I've gone on dates and I feel like, don't laugh too hard, don't make too many jokes, like look composed, whatever. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I can see how, because sometimes you need to morph into a number of things until you find yourself. And I feel like I'm in a season where I'm just done with the bullshit, honestly, for lack of a better word. I just want to be me. I just want to be me. If I'm witty, if I'm funny, and if I'm a certain kind of way, if I like activities, like for me, I like activities that a lot of people would generally term boring. I want to be in the house. Like my idea of a good hangout, especially with my boyfriend, is I want to stay in the house, make a nice meal, cuddle, just bond, talk about life, have deep conversations. I want support, as a lady. I want to feel protected. I want to feel loved. I want to feel like the people around me, both my romantic partners and those my friends and family, like have got my back, like that, because I also want to be able to give that energy in return. And I just want to show up in the world as authentically me as I can. And like if it mirrors back and some people gravitate towards me, that's fine. And if I don't, then that's okay as well. And I've been seeing it also in my content creation journey and even in the podcast. There are times I'll put out a poll and get very few people who come in and tell me, what their opinion is, or some people prefer to just tell me directly and not have it out there. And it also just got me thinking, the nature of what it is that we talk about are not very exciting topics. Sometimes, of course, we'll be here talking about sex and relationships and all of that. But it's not a lot of things that would get you going, like that has easy clickbait and stuff like that. And that's okay, because that's what truly speaks to my heart. And that's what I can give of myself and share in my most authentic form. And my people will find me, and those who get it, get it. So that has been very big for me. Another thing that I feel has been big for me is just owning my journey. Owning my journey. I feel I feel a bit stagnant because there are a number of things that I had hoped I would be able to accomplish this year that I haven't. And some of them really eat at my heart and my soul. But I really don't want for a second to miss out on the blessings that I have now, because it's so easy to miss out on that as you choose to focus on what it is that you want and what you hope to acquire and what you're focusing on. Learning to like the things I have. It's okay to want things. It's okay to have dreams and aspirations. But I need to just like put them out there, but also just continue living my life and enjoying the things that I have now and marinating in this season, because I don't know what the other season will bring. It might bring its own fair share of blessings, but also its own fair share of challenges. And maybe I'll look back and feel like, I wish I had enjoyed that other season a bit more now that I'm in a different one. So those are all the things that have been going on in my mind. I I know that I'm really trying to take care of my mental health as much as I can, do away with things that eat at my heart, make steps and strides toward just doing things in terms of creating boundaries, doing things that excite me, that give me joy, reacting to scenarios, forming different healthy coping mechanisms, just stuff like that generally. But also just really leaning into my faith and trying to understand what God's plan and purpose for me is, and then tap into that. I want to say also that this has been a period of great restoration for me. I've had the privilege of having my parents in town for a while. Um, I know I don't talk about this a lot, but my mom is I've been raised by a single mom, and I'm a single mom myself. But my mom got a partner later on in life. And so for this month, they had decided to come on and stay in the city. And I've had a ball, let me tell you. They they asked my daughter's driver to drop her off to their place after school. So they've been doing school pickups, and they stay with my daughter and they help with her homework. They feed her. So when I come home, it's literally we shower, a quick little before bed snack, and we're in bed and we're sleeping. And that has been such a great burden lifted off of my shoulder. And not, when I say the word burden, I'm not trying to say my parenting is burdensome. It is not. It's just that it's like it gives me an element of ease, and I'm so happy. And initially, when I get ease in one aspect of my life, I'll always go and sort out chaos just because that's what's familiar to me. But I'm learning to just lean into ease and lean into love and lean into peace and just enjoy it while it lasts. So I'm really learning to do that. And just, just that generally. So it's been a good season. I'm happy, I'm blessed, and I just want to say that I'm not blind to whatever it is that's going on, because we've had a lot going on. We just came out of a pandemic. First of all, we haven't even rested from that, and then El Nino, these floods have shown us fire. And if you've not been affected in one way or another, you know someone who has. And because of everything that's been going on, our headspace and our mental health could be compromised in one way or another. And so please seek out help as much as you can. My DMs are always open. I'm on Instagram. I'm Walking with Wanzuu podcast. On Gmail, tewanzuu@gmail.com. You can always reach out to me. I'm happy to talk. I know that sometimes when you're going through things, sharing, talking helps to ease the burden to a certain extent. Another thing that I found that always works for me is people talk about journaling, but we don't talk enough about voice notes. I journal using voice notes a lot nowadays. And sometimes when I listen back, I kind of think, that was, I was feeling kidogo emotional there. That was a bit misplaced. Or that was really good. Or that has given me some form of clarity. So sometimes get on if you have a phone that has a notes app, get into your sound recorder, do voice notes, talk about what you're feeling, try and offload, whether it's in the morning, whether you can sneak a moment in the bathroom, in the toilet, I don't care, in your bedroom. Please voice the things that you feel, voice the things that you feel are going on, even if you do it to yourself, even if you feel like you can only voice them to yourself, please do that. It's a great release. It gives you clarity as you go on, and it just helps you kind of gauge what's going on and how to kind of work through it. Other than that, I really hope that other than taking care of our own mental health and trying to be in a good space, that you're also trying in your own special and maybe small or big way to be a safe space for other people. I hope people around you and close to you are able to feel like you're a source of support, or you're someone who they can talk to, or you're someone who kind of can in one way or another understand or support whatever it is that they're going through, whether they're in a good season as far as their mental health is concerned, or they're not. Sending you guys so much love and light. I hope the new week brings forth a lot of good vibes and a lot of good energy as we end the month of May. Let's end it on a good note. Let's offer help to the ones who we know that are struggling with their mental health. Let's not make these conversations cringe. Let's offer a soft landing. Let's offer a non-judgmental space. Let's offer kindness. Let's offer peace. Let's offer warm hugs if we can. And God bless you. Until the next one, I will see you soon. Bye. Just a little quick shout out, not so little. I put out a poll on my Instagram stories asking people to ask me anything they'd like to know about Wanzuu or about myself as the host of this particular podcast. And the only entry I got was from a very special lady called Miss Linda Gemelli. Linda, shout out to you. You've been a good friend and always been such a huge supporter from day one. And she asked, what made you get into wellness? What made me get into wellness was realizing that I was very drawn to providing a safe space for people, a listening ear, and to be able to have conversations that lead to an increased level of vulnerability and honesty, but also that gives solutions, especially about things that we tend to cringe or shy away from. I also felt a very big gap in terms of being and having safe spaces for people. I know that there are certain seasons in my life that I craved for that space, safe space. I craved for someone to provide a safe space, a listening ear, an unjudgmental approach to the things that I was going through, and just to hear me out. And there are times when I got that, and there are times when I didn't. I felt misunderstood. I felt, like I was just going through the motions all on my own. And so as a result, I've always been very keen on being a safe space, an unjudgmental space, and just offering as much support as I possibly can to the best of my capacity, to anyone or everyone who would need help, especially in terms of just mental wellness and all of that. I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much for sending in that particular question, and shout out to you. I see you doing amazing things, and I'm cheering you on, so sending you love and light. And once again, thank you for the entry.